A historic weekend for NASCAR racing in San Diego for the very first time, racing on a naval base, ends with one of the most thrilling battles that I have seen, and Corey Heim picking up his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory in only his 13th career start. Welcome back to another episode of Talkin NASCAR. I'm your host, Andrew. Hope you're all having a great day. Today, we are going to be recapping the final race from NASCAR's historic race weekend in San Diego on Naval Base Coronado, the Anduril 250. And what a race weekend this was overall, including the Truck Series and the O'Reilly Series, producing incredible finishes, all being wrapped up by the NASCAR Cup Series racing on Sunday, which we'll be talking about here today. Don't worry, I will be covering, or excuse me, I will be talking about the O'Reilly Series and the Truck Series races from this past weekend in the next episode of Talkin NASCAR. But today, we will be solely talking about the Cup Series action on Sunday. And let me just start by saying that this race was a challenge and a wacky one overall for the drivers, the crew chiefs, the spotters, everyone. This was a wacky one and a very entertaining one. It produced so much action, high tire wear, created big strategy in for this entire race, and it ultimately came down to a really big restart and a really long run to the finish that would produce probably one of the greatest battles we've seen so far this year, alongside the three-way Joe Gibbs Racing battle between Briscoe, Bell, and Hamlin at Nashville just a couple weeks ago. But let's start by talking about the finish of this race. So we have to go all the way back to lap 64, the restart, after we have a caution for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. after it looks like he blew an engine on the racetrack, dropped a lot of fluid on the track entering turn 2 just down the hill from turn 1, maybe some oil as well. Very unfortunate for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And he was kind of just sitting behind an opening in the track where the AMR safety team and some of the trucks, the safety trucks, are just waiting and being ready to deploy if there is a caution or a wreck. So Ricky pulled in there, but all the fluid made NASCAR put out the caution for safety reasons. And this came in a very interesting spot because there was a couple drivers on the pit lane making their final pit stop just as some of the leaders were blending or going past the pit lane, and as these cars finished up their pit stops, they blended back into the field. Guys like Carson Hocevar, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, while Kyle Larson and Corey Heim were in the lead, with Chris Buescher also coming through with the lead as well up at the front. Todd Gilliland also involved Ryan Preece in a desperate position to gain points to recover the points he lost in the chase bubble at the current moment. Zane Smith, Denny Hamlin are also at the front, but they all had to make a pit stop to be able to make it on fuel, so they were already sent to the back. But on the restart, Carson Hocevar and Kyle Larson on the front row with 2311 Racing teammates of Tyler Reddick and Corey Heim right behind them. And on the first lap of that restart, Tyler Reddick was able to work his way past both Kyle Larson and Carson Hocevar, and Larson actually faded back into the clutches of Bubba Wallace, and they fell into a battle for 4th place, and Corey Heim worked his way up into 3rd place. And then heading into the final chicane, heading into the start-finish line, Corey Heim had a little bit of contact with Carson Hocevar, knocked him out of the way, sent Hocevar back towards the back end of the top 10, and it became a battle between Reddick and Heim for the win. And from there, that became the battle for the win, like I already said. And for the other guys like Wallace and Larson, they did not have a chance to contend because both of them, but Wallace and Larson and everyone behind them, were quickly trying to save as much tire as they could, maybe for a final couple laps in the race, so they could run down Reddick and Heim. Meanwhile, Reddick and Heim just continued to go at full max running, Reddick pushing as hard as he could, Heim kind of managing his stuff, meanwhile keeping Reddick in basically shouting distance, and they stayed that way up until about 5 laps to go. Then, with 3 to go, Tyler Reddick makes his first mistake of this run, going wide in turn 2. Corey Heim gets alongside of him and is able to clear Tyler Reddick for the lead, and then another battle ensues. Reddick and Heim are side by side through turn 5 and 6. But then Corey Heim is able to clear Tyler Reddick, and one lap later we learn Tyler Reddick has a left front tire going down after they made contact with the wall. Reddick tried to go up the inside of Heim, used the inside lane, sent Heim outside of him into the outer groove. Heim actually hit the wall, but so did Tyler Reddick. He hit the inside wall, and that cut down his left front tire. So Reddick did have to come down pit road to change that tire and able to finish the race. And Corey Heim now had a 10-second lead over his teammate of Bubba Wallace for the lead. And from there is no looking back for Corey Heim. He cruised to his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory easily. And while I did just say Corey Heim was able to easily get this win, again, it was a very hard-fought battle between Reddick and Heim. Heim had to keep Reddick within reach. Otherwise, Tyler Reddick may have just run away with this and been able to save his stuff and have the same comfortable win that Corey Heim did. But Heim used up his stuff, kept Reddick within shouting distance pretty much, while maintaining some of his tires, which allowed him to make a move on Tyler Reddick when Reddick's stuff finally wore out. When his tires finally wore out and he made a mistake, Corey Heim capitalized and was able to take the lead. Meanwhile, Reddick, his race was done. And I think this just shows you how great of a driver Corey Heim is and how deserving he is to have that full-time ride next season with 23XI Racing. The amount of maturity it takes for him to be able to keep in touch with the leader, the guy he's fighting against, while maintaining his tires, which for a 23-year-old, not many drivers his age are able to replicate that kind of driving, where they are running as hard as they not running as hard as they can, but they're running well enough to maintain distance and stay in touch with the leader while also not using his stuff up to do it and keeping his tires ready, leaving just enough for him to be able to get past the leader and take the lead and take the victory. I mean, Denny Hamlin himself said that he was kind of shocked about how Corey Heim was able to get this win, and I was too. I was not expecting a Corey Heim victory at Naval Base Coronado, one of the most difficult road courses that this sport has ever seen, possibly, with its high tire wear, the narrow surface of the track, sometimes the narrow straightaways, sometimes the turns, just the overall shape of it. We saw lots of issues in practice and qualifying because it is so new and it is very difficult. Some of the bumps caused by the rails of the cranes that operate in this naval base. And yet Corey Heim, the guy that is only in his 13th career NASCAR Cup Series start, he hasn't made a start on a road course, and in the last street race that he attempted to make, the Chicago street race last year, he missed it. He made a crucial mistake, and Catherine Legg for Live Fast Motorsports was able to advance into the main event. Yet Corey Heim is able to go into San Diego, be able to work his way up through the field the entire day, and find himself in contention for the race win, and is able to seal the deal. Not many 23-year-olds in their 13th career start are able to do that. So it is absolutely incredible what Corey Heim did yesterday in Naval Base Coronado in San Diego. So congratulations to Corey Heim on an incredible drive to the win here in San Diego. Not here in San Diego, out there in San Diego. Absolutely incredible stuff that we are seeing from Corey Heim. This is scary, honestly, too, for the entire rest of the garage. Just seeing that Corey Heim is able to do well on mile and a halves, do well on super speedways, and now do well on road courses. The only thing we haven't seen yet is short tracks, and he has done very well on short tracks in the Truck Series. I have no doubt that Corey Heim can do similar things on short tracks in the Cup Series. So, yeah, I think this put the entire Cup Series garage on notice with how talented and how skilled Corey Heim is with such little next-gen car experience in the Cup Series, going against the best drivers in the industry. Absolutely incredible what we're seeing from Corey Heim this season, and this puts it on display last night in San Diego. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the top finishers from yesterday's race. Heim's teammate of Bubba Wallace finishes in second place. Bubba Wallace, not a guy that we've come to expect to be a road course contender, but Bubba Wallace showed great speed yesterday in San Diego, and also overcame a loose reel penalty was 2 laps down at one point, got a string of cautions to go his way, got himself on the lead lap, and him and Charles Denique, for in that entire 23 team were able to work their way up through the field and were finishing in second place. So a phenomenal weekend from Bubba Wallace after what looked like maybe his race was over after that penalty. So great finish for Bubba Wallace. Huge help and huge boost to his chase bubble and chase predicament right now. We'll take a look at those standings in just a moment. Kyle Larson ends up in third place. Nice top 5 result for him. He's still looking for that first win. I thought Larson was going to be the guy to get it done. But as that final run ran long, and even at that last caution, I could tell that Larson just didn't have the car. He wasn't the best guy out on track today. But still, very good day for Kyle Larson. Zane Smith in fourth place had a great qualifying effort. Ends in fourth place. He was easily probably one of the best Fords today, alongside Chris Buescher in sixth place, Ryan Blaney in ninth place. Blaney won a stage as well. So Ford looked pretty solid today as well. Overall, AJ Allmendinger, another road course ace, top 5 here in Naval Base Coronado, gets his first top 10 of the season. So big boost for AJ Allmendinger, who's also fighting for a chase spot. Ross Chastain, another guy fighting for a chase spot, finishes in 7th place. Back-to-back really good finishes for Chastain. Top 10 in Pocono last week and nearly a top 15 in Michigan a couple weeks ago. And then Riley Herbst, another 2311 racing car, in 8th place. At one point, Herbst was inside the top 5. Looked like he might get his best career finish. Still gets a top 10. Very good result for Riley Herbst. However, I do think this is getting a little bit overshadowed because his replacement, Corey Heim, did get the victory. So got to feel for Riley a little bit. He had a great day. So got to give Riley Herbst his credit as well. Michael McDowell, another road course ace, gets top 10. Ryan Preece also won a stage as well in stage 2. Big points for him, fighting for a chase position as well. Chase Elliott did not have a good day going in this one, was struggling all day long. Salvages a top 15 in 12th place. Late in the going, was able to use a little bit of pit strategy to get some track position and was able to hang on to it. So good day for Chase Elliott after what seemed like it was just a not very good day for him. Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, and Ty Gibbs round out the top 15. And then John Hunter Nemechek, Chase Briscoe, Logano, Hocevar, after getting spun out in that initial restart in the chicane, still gets a top 20. Eric Jones in 20th. Again, didn't have a great day going. Still gets some top 20, some solid points overall. Todd Gilliland in 21st. He looked pretty fast out there as well. Started inside the top 5. Showed some good speed, leading some laps with his teammate of Zane Smith. Ends up in 21st. Austin Cindric also in chase position, ends up in 22nd. Reddick, the guy that looked like had control of this race, ends up in 25th. And then some other notable finishers. Kevin Magnussen, the former F1 driver, open wheel racer, road racer, well-renowned, gets a 27th place for Project 91. He ran into a little bit of trouble with Noah Gragson. They had a bit of a conversation after the race. Noah Gragson looked like was, blocking a lot, Kevin Magnussen a lot. Eventually, looks like Kevin Magnussen got a little upset with that and just flat out turned Noah Gragson into a wall, ended Noah's day. So they had a conversation after the race was over. Jimmy Johnson, the Southern California native, ends in 28th. He had a great day going in the Truck Series race on Friday. Tough luck here in San Diego. He got caught up in a wreck early. He spun out in the chicane, was battling some brake issues. Unfortunate day for Jimmy, but still, overall, 28th is, better than most days for Jimmy Johnson overall. And then some big names outside the top 30. William Byron in 32nd. He got caught up in an incident. He hit the inside wall, damaged his car, but he was having a good day going. He was inside the top 5. He looked like he might have a good day going for him. Unfortunately, makes one mistake, and his race is ruined overall. Same for Brad Keselowski, ends in 34th. It wasn't like he had a good day going either, but he ended up getting some damage as well, made him some mistakes, ends up in 34th. Austin Hill, Connor Zilisch, SVG, all three were battling at the front of the field after a caution on a restart. However, this was the big crash of the day. It was Connor Zilisch and Austin Hill leading the way into turn 1. Austin Hill looks like he washes up the racetrack a little bit, trying to get on the brakes, misses the mark, maybe had some brake issues going on as well, washes up into Connor Zilisch, and they have a huge impact in the outside wall. SVG's collected as well. Not Brent Cruz as well. Ty Gibbs gets collected in this. Still, Ty Gibbs is able to recover to a 15th place finish. several other drivers involved. It was a humongous incident. They red flagged the race to repair the walls and get it back in place. But that ended the day of Austin Hill, Connor Zilic, and Shane Van Gisbergen. And I was thinking in that moment that Austin Hill, who was having a great day, by the way, started in 10th place in this race, was up inside the top 10 for the majority of that first segment of the race. I thought this was going to be a huge prove-it day for Austin Hill to say that, hey, I belong in this 33 car next year, because he's fighting for a spot possibly in the Cup Series, because we've been hearing sorts of rumors about who could fill that seat full-time next year, and Austin Hill's name has been thrown in the hat, but it seems like, though, that he is maybe the weakest of the contenders that we've heard, but this was going to be a huge prove-it race for him. Again, running inside the top 10 at a brand new racetrack. He won the O'Reilly race yesterday, his first career road course race of his career. So Austin Hill really putting himself on notice and saying, hey, I can race this Cup car too. You should put me in the seat full time next year. But unfortunately, he wrecks, makes a miscalculation, makes a mistake, ends up running Connor Zilic wide, hits the outside wall. Day's done. So I don't know what that incident does for Austin Hill's stock, but I can't think that's anything but somewhat negative, because that's a mistake that you can't make in that scenario. And then SVG started on the pole, did look a little bit vulnerable, did not look like the dominating SVG type. He was battling with tire wear as well. Again, he started third on that restart when that crash happened. So SVG, coming into this race, it was almost certain that he was going to get some really good points from this one, both this week and next weekend at Sonoma. However, this one, he just comes out of it with very minimal points overall. So very rough day for SVG and his chase position, because it was very much affected. We'll take a look at the points in just a moment. So tough day for SVG. And then Christopher Bell ends up in last place. It was announced before the race that he would be subbed out with Brent Cruz on the first caution of the day, and that ended up happening. It just seemed like Christopher Bell was not able to drive this track very well with that fractured left wrist. It was better for him to sit this one out and try to come back next weekend in Sonoma a little bit healthier. And meanwhile, Brent Cruz gets an opportunity to go drive some Cup Series laps. Fortunately, wasn't very many laps as he had an engine issue, so that ended the day early for the 20 team. So unfortunate weekend for all of them, but we'll have to wait and see if Bell can come back next weekend in Sonoma and rebound, because with this injury, and he's been on a little bit of a slide recently with Pocono, running out of fuel last week, it's not looking good for Christopher Bell and his chase position. Now, looking at the chase bubble, Ryan Preece now is the last driver in, 5 points ahead of Shane Van Gisbergen after his disastrous weekend. That stage win for Ryan Preece was very, very crucial in this one. Austin Cindric right now is 3 points above, he is 8 points above the cutoff line. Eric Jones 10. William Byron now has a comfortable gap above the chase cutoff line right now, but anything can happen. Same with Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and Chase Briscoe. SVG, like I said, is 5 points out of the current standings at this current moment, out of the chase. Joey Logano, 10, is out right now. He's out by 10. Brad Keselowski now out by 13. AJ Allmendinger is out by 25 points now. Michael McDowell is now out by 39 points. And then Ross Chastain is out by 45 points out of the current chase at this current moment. Zane Smith, he's also in that conversation, trying to work his way back from two back-to-back rough finishes at Michigan and Pocono. Unfortunately, didn't quite get the finish that he wanted at San Diego. But we are heading to another road course this coming weekend in Sonoma, so I do expect SVG to make some gains and possibly get himself back in the chase, possibly with another win at Sonoma, so I wouldn't be surprised about that. I wouldn't be surprised to see Allmendinger and McDowell, maybe even Ross Chastain, to make a humongous gain in this as well. They're solid road course racers as well. Cindric, I think, could maybe make a little bit of a jump at Sonoma. Eric Jones, I think, should be definitely a little bit concerned because it wasn't a good week at San Diego. Maybe heading to a more familiar road course of Sonoma will help him out a little bit, but Eric Jones is definitely the guy that I'm watching very, very closely. Same with Ryan Preece. William Byron, Bell, Wallace, and Briscoe, I'm not too concerned about heading into Sonoma. They're all really solid road course racers. And Bubba Wallace, again, he's shown improvement on road courses. So with his current points position, I have a hard time seeing that Bubba Wallace is going to make a humongous drop down in the standings at this current moment. And then looking at the top of the point standings, Tyler Reddick's lead over Denny Hamlin has now shrunk to only 8 points. Wow, that is incredible. And Denny Hamlin, he himself had a solid run, and Tyler Reddick fell down the order very, very far. That flat tire really cost Tyler Reddick some points in this race. So now only 8 points heading into Sonoma. Maybe Reddick will gain some back. It's another road course. And again, Denny Hamlin is not the best road course racer. Maybe we could see something like that happen. And looking a little bit further down the order, Larson, Gibbs, and Elliott, and even Chris Buescher as well, they're all in a conversation fighting for a top 5 position. Larson, Gibbs, and Elliott are only separated by 3 points. And then Chris Buescher, he's a little over 30 points behind Chase Elliott. So they're all still in position to continue fighting for a spot and further standings. Suarez and Hocevar only have 2 points separating them as well. And then Briscoe, Wallace, Bell, and Byron are not separated by many points either. So lots of little sections of the standings, at least in the top, I would say 13, that have a chance to be flip-flopped over the next couple weeks based on which drivers have some worse weeks than others. If like Briscoe DNFs at Sonoma, he could fall down to like 13th in the standings, I bet. So overall, very, very close right now in the current Chase standings at the moment. Now, one last thing before we get to the race review rating, I do have to talk about Prime Video's coverage of NASCAR and the Cup Series one more time. Just talk about them since their 5 races are now over. They'll be transitioning now over to Turner. And I think it's simple to say that Amazon Prime hit it out of the park once again with the race coverage. The booth was very solid once again with Adam Alexander, not Danielle Trotta, even though she was solid on the pre-race and post-race coverage with Corey LaJoie. Adam Alexander, Steve Letarte, Dale Earnhardt Jr. were very good in the booth. Prime Video also brought in some really great members of the NASCAR community to remember Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Jeff Gordon as well, Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski. It was all very, very well done. The camera work was very solid. The sound mixing, a huge thing and huge demerit that I have against Fox is their sound and audio mixing. Very solid once again. Overall, Prime, once again, very, very stellar. I have nothing bad to say about it. Very similar to how they were last year. Nothing bad to say. So great job once again to Amazon Prime. I so wish you guys were the exclusive broadcaster because, man, would it be so good. And now to wrap up this episode, though, it's time to move on to the race review rating. So, the San Diego Street Race, first time we're heading to San Diego. What an event this entire weekend was. Performing for the United States Navy on Naval Base Coronado on a street race, it was all extremely impressive. The racing product was great on Sunday, a thrilling final battle between Reddick and Heim. You have, I would say, a surprise winner in Corey Heim, but we all knew it's going to happen eventually, and it so happened to be this weekend in San Diego, which is incredible. Was awesome. The tire wear created a really interesting strategy, and like how long were the tires going to last? This was the strategy decider. The tires, how long could they last? It wasn't fuel strategy, it was tire strategy, which we haven't seen much as of late in NASCAR, especially in the Cup Series. It's been a lot of fuel saving strategy. This time it was the tires, so that was really cool to see as well. Wasn't too much calamity overall, just had that one big crash with SVG, Austin Hill, Connor Zilisch, and Ty Gibbs on that restart. But besides that, that was pretty much it. So it was a fairly clean race. Saw some good hard racing. Kevin Magnussen and Noah Gragson going at it in this one. Again, Reddick and Heim going at it. Corey Heim being physical with Carson Hocevar. The racing was good. It was not even just good. It was great. It was very, very good overall, especially for a road course in the next-gen car. It was very good overall in this one. So, and again, the event, the weekend, amazing. Performing for the United States Navy, celebrating America's 250th anniversary. Just a phenomenal weekend. The fan turnout looked very, very good once again. The weather looked amazing. It was sunny. It was clear skies in San Diego, Naval Base Coronado. Unbelievable this event was. So, with that all in mind, I'm going to give this weekend, this race, the Anduril 250, I'm going to give it a 96% for the race review rating. That's an A plus rating. I think it was very good. It was amazing overall. Amazing A grade for the Anduril 250 in San Diego, Naval Base Coronado. I hope NASCAR can find a way to do this again next year. I'm hearing rumors that they want to do it again next year. I don't I have high hopes it can happen again, but realistically thinking, it was so tough to put this all together. I really am like I'm skeptical that this will happen again, but a man can dream that NASCAR can return to San Diego next year for the 4th of July. That would be amazing. That would be awesome overall. Even in not even America's 250th anniversary, America 251, that campaign's got to get going underway as soon as New Year hits this year. I'm hoping that happens, but that's what I'm going to give it, a 96% for the race review rating. Let me know down in the comments what you would have given this race this weekend. Would have been higher, would have been lower. Not much room to get higher than this. I mean, I bet someone else can find out some reasons to give it a higher grade. So let me know down in the comment section below what you would have given this weekend in terms of grade. But that will do it for this episode, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking some time out of your day to take a listen to this show. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow so you never miss another episode of Talkin NASCAR. Follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you're getting this show at this current moment. I'll have links to it in the description if you want to share it possibly with your friend, your friends, your family, whoever. Share it with someone, help the show grow even more. If you like what I'm doing over here as well, go check out Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew. It's the other sports show I co-host with. I'll have links to the YouTube channel and the Spotify page down in the description below. So thank you all so much for listening. I'm Andrew Volkman, and I'll see you next time.